Good afternoon, my name is Kimberly Gilly, and I'm here today to talk to you about life support. What can save a person's life, but at the same time cause life-threatening infections. First, why don't we go over the two forms of life support and what they do and what they are. The first type of life support is ventilators. The ventilators are breathing tubes placed into patients who are unable to breathe on their own due to injury or illness. Feeding tubes is the second form of life support. Feeding tubes are used in patients who are unable to swallow or eat on their own. Both of these methods can be used long-term or short-term, depending on the extent of the illness or injury. When it comes to choosing whether or not to use life support, if the patient is alert and able to make choices on their own, it's up to them, but if not, it is up to an immediate family member, unless they have a living will. If they have a living will, it's whatever they want. Now let's talk about the risks of life support. Both forms of life support come with risks of infection. Ventilators, if patients aren't given proper oral hygiene, they can develop what is called gram-negative bacteria. This is also the bacteria that causes pneumonia, which in ventilator patients would be called ventilator-associated pneumonia. In feeding tubes, the patients can develop an infection of the site where the feeding tube was inserted, and this could lead to further complications that are sometimes life-threatening. Any type of infection with life support has a risk of leading to death. Along with infections, there are also injuries. The insertion of breathing tubes for ventilators can damage the esophagus. The feeding tube can shift and puncture other organs, causing the tube to have to be removed or replaced. Therefore, I have discussed how although life support is used to sustain life, it can also sometimes cause death. So when you're making the decision about life support for yourself or a family member, just remember the risks that go along with it. Good afternoon, my name is Kimberly Gilly, and today I'm here to encourage you to donate blood. Donating blood is important because without it, there wouldn't be blood for transfusions, and without the transfusions, patients would die. If you needed a transfusion, wouldn't you want somebody to have had the courage to donate blood to save your life? According to the American Red Cross, if a person begins donating blood at the age of 17 and donates once every 56 days until he or she reaches the age of 76, they will have donated a total of 48 gallons of blood. The 48 gallons of blood could potentially help save thousands of lives. In March of 2006, my mom had to have a hysterectomy. After her surgery, she needed a blood transfusion. That night, she received 2 pints of blood, which without it, she would have died. We are very thankful for whoever had the courage to take the time out of their day to donate blood and save a life. Why is blood donation so important? Without blood donations, there wouldn't be blood stored for transfusions. And without the transfusions, people would die. Some of the causes for blood loss and the need of transfusions is losing too much blood during surgery, traffic accidents, domestic violence injuries, and broken bones. Because there are certain bones in the body that if broken can hemorrhage, such as the human pelvis. You're probably wondering how you can go about donating. First, you need to find out what organization does donations in your local area. A couple of examples are the American Red Cross and LifeShare Blood Center. To find out where you can donate, you can watch for flyers or call the main office of your local organization. How long blood donation takes varies. For whole blood, it takes approximately 5 to 10 minutes for the donation process itself. It all depends on the speed of blood flow, and the entire process from start to finish can take between 30 and 45 minutes. On the Alex machine, which only collects blood platelets, the total process takes 1 to 2 hours. The full donation process consists of taking your vital signs, like your blood pressure and temperature. After your vital signs, they will check your iron level to see if you're anemic. If you are anemic, you will be ineligible to donate. If you are eligible to donate, they will ask you to answer some questions regarding your medical history. Eligibility from this point will depend on your answers. If you are eligible, then you are ready to start the donation process. Some people who are eligible will not donate because of the fear of needles. That I can relate to because I myself am afraid of needles. I'm afraid of needles of all sizes. I don't know if you've ever seen the needles they used before, but they're huge. The local organization where I live is LifeShare Blood Center. They hold blood drives at the local high school every 56 days for students and faculty 17 years of age and older. Although I am terrified of needles, I decided at the beginning of my junior year, which was when I was first eligible, that I was going to be a blood donor. My first time, I was extremely nervous and didn't know if I would be able to go through with it. I took a deep breath and thought about the time with my mom needing blood. And I got in that chair and I gave my pint of blood. It did hurt pretty bad, but all of that pain was worth it, knowing that I was saving someone's life. I will be 19 in a little over a month, and I have donated 3 times. I would have donated a lot more, but unfortunately, health issues have held me back. As soon as I'm well enough, you can count on me being back in that chair, donating every chance I get. Throughout this speech, I have explained how important blood donations are, how and where to donate, and how long the donation process takes. If you were dying and in need of a blood transfusion, wouldn't you want someone to have the courage to donate the blood you need? Why wouldn't you do the same?